Hello everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your, I guess it could be weekly, maybe not, podcast about Final Fantasy XIV. So before we even get started, just to let you know, I am on a new PC, but not everything is properly set up, including my camera. So if it goes in and out during the show, I apologize in advance. There's going to be some other elements that are missing just for the sheer sake of the fact that, well, again, new PC, not all the way set up. So now that we got that out of the way, let's do our first impressions on patch 5.55. We will be keeping this spoiler-free today, so hopefully you all enjoy that. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Happy. Of course, joining me is Sly. How you doing, Sly? You doing all right, Sly? You doing
all right. Doing okay.
You doing all right? How are you doing? What you doing? What you got planned for the weekend?
More Nocturne remaster, because I need to get back to that. Probably some more Hunts.
More Hunts?
That's out.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't even gotten into the new Monster Hunter update yet. Oh, and there it goes. And Merri, while you introduce yourself, I'm gonna finish. Yeah, Merri's here, by the way. But our missing 4 horseman is here, and he's here when I'm trying to figure out how all my technology works. Hi.
Oh, I really appreciate that you still have the 1.0 Mordona for the
Shut
background. No, I'm being serious. I love it.
But
It's
why?
nostalgic. It's nostalgic.
Oh, hey, my cat's in here. Don't worry, I'm fixing it. It's fine. The intro music's. What else are you doing?
Chilling.
Chilling?
I got my hover bike.
Hey, nice. I don't have that yet.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
I want to get it from the duel, and my track record's not been so great. Okay, I don't need to yell anymore. It's fine. Yeah, so my camera already broke pretty much as soon as it's. No idea why, but pretty much immediately. Yeah, see, that capture card has just been on the fritz. So I tried to buy myself some time there, but well, I mean, this is what the scene looks like right now because it's not set up. If you would look onto your screen,
so
one of our co-hosts appears to be missing.
Ooh.
So I'm the only one without a camera, right?
Well, you're the only one with a camera, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay because, believe it or not, I fixed it. And by fixed it, I mean it'll be fixed momentarily. Listen, man, new computer, same tech problems. You know what's funny? I was closing Photoshop, and that's what it is. So now my capture card's on the fritz after all that. It's 5 years old, but thus far it hasn't liked the new technology all that much. Or I just changed the setting, and I just don't know.
Or technology just doesn't like you.
Yeah, it's really weird because like today has been an amalgamation of mistakes, and I'm apparently one of them based on the fact that this isn't working. There we go. See, there we go. Yeah, I agree. Some call this unprofessional. I call this character. This is how you know we're people, and we make mistakes.
It's
and
a feature.
Yes,
it's a feature.
And that you can all be people, and you can all make mistakes, and people will still love you even if they tell you they don't, like some of you do whenever I screw this up.
Makes you relatable.
Yeah, exactly. See? Yeah. Extra relatable. All right, so we're going to be talking about 5.55 today. Spoiler free, just to be clear, which means it's probably going to be a shorter show, which means it's probably actually going to be a long show. Because that's just how, for some reason, that's just how we... Listen, it's not on purpose, Sly. It's not on purpose.
Every time you say it, though, it just ends up happening. It's going to be a short show 3 hours later.
Okay, you've only had 1 3-hour show, and you know it, and those are the FanFest shows. That's not fair. You can't pin me on. You can't pin that on me.
No.
Okay, when was the last one we had that was in the last year that wasn't a FanFest show?
I think it was 2 or 1 before FanFest, and
are you talking about the live letter where we stayed up all night?
No, not that one. It wasn't a live letter. It was God. I can't even remember who was on it, but it was a pretty long show. We thought it was going to be short, but it's pretty longer than normal. I should say.
All right. Well, we're manifesting longer shows by talking about how our short show is going to be long. So I'm glad that we managed to conclude this conversation. All right, before we get started, quick shout out to our sponsors. First sponsor, of course, Steel Series. I do need to pull the giveaway for Steel Series. I haven't because I've, in the last couple of weeks, gotten my second vaccine shot, had FanFest, got a new cat, and had one cat need to go into the vet this week because he's an idiot and likes to swallow mouse toys. So let's just say I haven't gotten around to doing that just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been tumultuous to say the least, and I'm tilted today, but we'll talk about that a little bit longer. But thank you to Steel Series for sponsoring all the same. There will be a giveaway under the YouTube video for this as well, and thank you to our sponsors over on Patreon. Because of the new computer swap, there is no list that is scrolling up there. However, it's not for the same reason as it was before. Before it was lagging the show. Now it's just a matter of the fact that it's not there because the setup isn't done properly, and I'll get that fixed before next week. So thank you to our sponsors, and with that, hope you like Zadnor for the next 6 months.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't care. The game doesn't care what you think, because that's the reality of it. That's all it is to it. All right, so patch 5.55 came out this Tuesday. And before we even talk about the patch itself, we had one of the very rare occurrences before the servers even came up, in that they extended maintenance for the first time in quite some time due to some restructuring of server aspects on the back end. And the excited part of my brain can't help but feel like that's in preparation for one very specific data center travel.
Do that.
Agreed. Agreed.
I am more and
But
more
are you-
anticipating this.
Are you under the impression that we're going to get it sooner than anticipated? Which they said, what, July, August for that patch. So are you thinking that it's going to be sooner than anticipated, or still on track?
I think that it's probably still just... I always feel like when they give us a range, it's the end of the range. No matter what. They'll even if they could do it earlier, I think they will always do the end of the range.
That's pretty fair. I can't think of any time where we've gotten something like extremely early. So
Sly wants to think of it now. Now that you said that, he's like, I gotta think of it.
They like to give themselves a big window.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah, you're right. There's never been a time they got anything early. It's just, it's just been at the time they've given us, or after. It has to be late. But yeah, they like to, give themselves that window of, like you said, that window of safety.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just so we don't yell at them.
Well, I mean, people yell at them anyway. If there's anything we've learned over the years, is you could do everything by the books, and that doesn't stop people from being loud, obnoxiously so at times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, something that I want to touch upon, because I just realized we kind of skimmed over one pretty important fact before even talking about 5.55 and the server, is that we haven't had Merri on the show in like over a year.
It's been a very long time, and I'm happy to be back.
No, I'm happy.
Glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
There you go. I needed to do it. I needed to do it. Yes.
I would have been upset if you did.
Yeah, but Sly's upset that I did most of the time, so that's fine.
It was out.
So that means we haven't gotten your thoughts on any of the expansion-related news. So if you want to give us a quick, I guess, run over of some of the things that you were more interested in, more excited about, I'm sure everyone would like to know where you stand on a lot of that stuff.
Okay, well, as a 1.0 player, Charlene, very big, very excited. Finally get to go there. Reaper looks cool. I'm not a huge melee DPS player, but I mean, it's cool. I don't really know what else to say.
Big scythe, big cool.
Yeah, I like it that they're giving us a Final Fantasy 11 scythe.
Yeah, literally. That scythe is the level. Is that the level 1 or level 10? No, the level 1 one's a sword. That scythe is the artifact.
I think it's like a level 60 crafted scythe.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Oh, 72. Maybe level 72. Oh, I think it's level 72 scythe. Yeah,
it's just it's like crafted or something.
Yeah, I remember you had a short stay with Samurai, and it didn't. It didn't last very long. Maybe this will last
shit for it too. You were really hyped for it for Sam, and then you were all in, and then
you wanted it to be a tank though, so he could tank on.
That's true.
Yeah, I was in that prediction boat.
So, yeah, I don't know. Everything looks great. I'm excited.
Sage, you gonna dust off the healer Merri at all for Sage?
No. I mean, I'll level it, but
yeah.
I'm not.
Sound like Sly when I ask him if he's gonna heal.
I mean,
The thing is, Sly, I think you
I'm
have to
heal.
play Sage because it's of what it is. I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I have to heal, but Sage is a DPS. What the fuck are we talking about? It's a mini Gundam. It's a fucking DPS.
That's what I mean. You have to play it because it's literally like you of all people have to play it. That's just it's destiny. It's fate.
Well, if you play it in Boja, you can be a DPS.
You will be. He very much. And you know what? I'm sure the other 47 people will also. Whether or not it's the best course of action. What about the various trailers? Thavnair. I mean, even as
Ooh.
I guess. Oh yeah. Okay, Thavnair.
Ooh, Thavnair. There's something really cool about this. And I think I mentioned it to you, or I'm sure you're at least well aware. But there's these giant purple crystals that they showed us that are on Thavnair.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually goes all the way back to 1.0. We had these weapons called giant skull weapons, which are in game still. They're crafted now. But back then, the lore was that they were made from crystals, giant crystals that originated on Thavnair. And so they brought it all the way around. And these giant purple crystals, which look like the giant skull weapon, must be the giant skull crystal.
Yeah, I actually had to do some research into those recently to learn what the lore is behind them. So I was, I'm curious to see if those play a role in the actual story at all, especially given where it seems like we're headed. Again, not going to talk spoilers, but you know, just giant crystals have often been a pretty, you know, pretty direct thing that we have to deal with in the past. Oh man,
but that made me really excited for just, you know, what other kind of things they're going to pull out of the woodworks that they've been just kind of keeping down in the down low for years and years and years. So
I got that feeling with Crystarium way back. I mean, Crystarium was, you know, the original concept town. I mean, to think that to think that it came all the way back around with Crystarium and Shadowbringers was massive.
It's like they're really kind of just trying to wrap up everything they've been teasing over the years.
So roaming primals, what? Roaming primals, Eggy Glamour, what else?
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Listen, if there was ever a time to do it, they've said they've made a good time to do it after 5.4, what we saw there, and our 5.5 part 1 spoiler cast stock, obviously.
Oh man.
It's never gonna happen. Don't worry, it's never gonna happen.
Free company primal summoning, and you change the zone's entire skybox. Let's do it.
Yeah, easy. I'm sure they'll get right on that. There's no way they're going to delay any longer on that one.
Yeah, let's go ahead and mark that down for 2025.
Optimistic. Yeah, I like it.
And I'll make it. Yeah. I'll make a tweet about it, and then it'll happen. I've got a good record.
What was that about? You made a tweet about
the dual system.
Word for word, yeah.
Notoriety. And it was like, okay, did they read my tweet?
Excuse me, I'm gonna need to collect on that. I'm gonna need a quarter every time somebody says it. That would be good. What else, I suppose? Because we're mostly just talking about the locations and the jobs. I mean, I guess in terms of features, we kind of already know some of the basics, and we know what the next ultimate is. We know about the Island Sanctuary. I don't know if you're much of an Island Sanctuary guy. I see you play Terraria. It's not quite the same, but, you know.
I mean, it might be cool to kind of just chill out.
I'm a bit of an addict with that kind of stuff. So I expect a great many hours to be spent. I've already wasted a great many hours leading up to the next expansion. I might as well keep wasting them after it comes out.
Yeah.
Fucking fish.
Any hype for Pandemonium?
I mean, yes, because I don't know.
I mean, I just want to know what the hell La Habrea is now.
Yeah, maybe we'll finally learn about the heart of Sabik.
You mean the big fat tacos?
That's right. They've been telling us for years that we'd find out about it, and we never have, so maybe we finally will.
Well, when it comes down to spoiler cast, we talk a little bit more about Boja. We might get to dive a little bit into that. And that's going to be a long lore episode when we get around to it, because, man, is Boja dense. Okay, well, if there's anything else you want to share about your Endwalker thoughts or anticipations or whatnot, last opportunity, and then we'll start actually moving into 5.55.
I think, just bottom line, I'd been feeling a little burnt out on Final Fantasy 14, and all this Endwalker news has completely turned it around, and now I can't get enough again. So it feels really good to be excited about what's to come.
Well, I'm sure that as
Definitely
you're
agree.
locked away on Crystal, and you won't be soon, probably.
Yeah, I can't wait to play with everybody.
Well, it helps. And yeah, I mean, they said that, you know, do duties with your friends when they talked about it last. So, I mean, it's still, I imagine, more restrictions than we have for server travel, but that's hopeful. No more
Yeah,
Crystal
sure.
Jail. It's not the Mordion Jail. It's the Crystal Jail. That's it. All right. Well, patch 5.55 was a mostly direct patch. I mean, there were a couple of question marks going into specific rewards and what came from what, you know, even before the patch notes came around. But the two highlights for most people, the two most major highlights are the main scenario quests and the Zadnor quest, the finale of the Save the Queen. Now that's two things, but I'm gonna, to be honest, the third thing I haven't done yet. There's one more important thing, and that's Yorha. That's the
That's
Oh.
what? What? That's what?
Yorha. I haven't done it.
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
Is this ending B? Your who?
What? Yeah. You're who? That's okay. Merri, how do you feel about Yorha? Because it's been vastly known how we feel about it. Happy is optimistic. I tried to be, but I just don't get.
You know,
I tried to be, but I just don't give a fuck anymore. How have you felt about Yorha?
The fuck is a Yorha?
it's when your friend laughs at you. Yorha.
Yeah.
Ah. Ooh.
There you go.
Haha.
There you go.
You like it when my friends laugh at my jokes. I thought it was not great.
I mean, but have you done it all in New Game Plus to see if it changes yet, though? Don't do that.
I won't. I'll let somebody else do it and tell me.
Slide, by the way, you got it. Yeah. I'm contemplating taking a look, but I'm sure somebody else has already thought of it, and if something changes, it will be posted on Reddit. Or it would be already, like they would have already finished it again by now. So I'm hopeful though. It'll get good. It'll get good. Why are you guys so quiet?
You should edit in some crickets.
Yeah. Really
No, you can just make a cricket noise. Just make your best cricket noise.
What? I think I'm gonna pass on that.
I was really looking forward to an attempt. All right. Well, I still haven't seen ending B yet, but I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's great. It'll be great. I trust. It'll be great.
Sure.
It'll be great. All right. So yeah, that's forgot he had that. I completely forgot he had that. I just forgot he had it. I knew he had it, but I completely forgot that he had it. I didn't do that, guys. That was Sly. Sly did that.
No. Yorha?
Yeah. Do you know Yorha? She's like, no, I don't. All right. Okay. So obviously we're doing spoiler free, so we can't talk much about the MSQ. But I found that a general statement about Part 2 MSQs is usually pretty easy to manage. Ever since 3.5, they after 2.55 they stopped doing 2 story patches and basically split a story patch in half for Part 1 and Part 2. Really more as like a marketing gimmick to draw it out and make sure the ending is a bit closer to expansion launch. And this one kind of is, as much as there are moments of it that are exciting, there's some cool set pieces and whatnot. It definitely feels like this formula has, I don't know, for me, kind of worn its welcome, and that waiting for the second part is never really worth, if that makes sense.
I understand completely where you're coming from. It definitely it loses some of its impact, and I kind of wish something that they would adopt maybe moving forward is having like a pre-patch, sort of like what Warcraft does, where there's like an event leading up to the expansion that kind of sets the stage for what's about to happen. It feels like with 14, you'll have the part 2, and then this big period of time, and then the expansion just hits and you go. And it's like they gotta find something to fill in that interim.
Sly.
Well, I feel like we have stuff to. I mean, it's not impactful stuff.
I mean, we have
but
stuff, but it's not like
we have events.
Our stuff that gets us excited for Endwalker isn't in game though. I guess that's the point that he's making. Yeah,
like a story lead. Like for example, because it's relevant with the Burning Crusade. Like before the Burning Crusade came out, there's this big event where like demons are invading. I almost said Eorzea. They're invading Warcraft world, and you got to fend them off. And then the expansion launches, and you go into the Dark Portal. Something like that leading up, where like maybe a couple weeks before Endwalker drops, suddenly there's like crazy end of the world monsters appearing everywhere, and like fates popping up, and you have to go and do those. Something to kind of build up into it.
I was gonna say the Rising could do that.
Now I was wondering if because that's an opportunity they don't normally have. They've never had the opportunity to do the Rising before an expansion launch, which I'm hoping they utilize in better ways than not, because that has to be under serious consideration this time around. We have whatever final tales of the Shadow that they can actually provide, as well as the actual in-game event. The in-game event hasn't really been anything sort of tease, like it's usually a 4-line poem, and that's kind of what we end up walking away with. But they have room to get a lot of people buzzing with the Rising this year. As for the events, it's always tough because 14 is instanced super heavily in terms of, like what people's progress. So like you can't, like a new player that's not even seen to Shadowbringers won't experience the same things and like get spoilers in the overworld. So it need to be instanced, or it need to be an instance. Literally the instanced, event in some way, like the Rising is with the old Ul'dah, where it just took us back to the end of days with right before the calamity kind of thing.
Yeah. Or any of the like Halloween dungeons or whatever.
Yeah. So something like that would be pretty cool, because I mean, ever since I think 3.5 is right now my top rated Part 1, Part 2 execution of any of the expansions, including 2.5, because 2.5 was literally, here is the storyline of, learning how to kill an Ascian, and then a banquet that now in retrospect was fucking pointless because nothing bad happened. Like nothing long-term bad has really come of it. And most of those are resolved or just kind of still festering.
To be fair, I thought the banquet was pretty good at the time.
Yeah.
In retrospect, it's kind of like, well.
Because in retrospect, 3.5 with a second Dalamud hanging in the sky and Papalymo's death leading into Omega versus Shinryu in a fucking all-out anime brawl. Not to mention Gosetsu and Grinwat. The solo instance was pretty exciting at the time, especially leading up to, everyone waiting to see more samurai stuff. It's just, I think that encapsulates the most. 4.5 was like, oh, Hien and Lys are fighting Ellentill as Xenos, and you showed up, and now you get called, and that's it. Estinian saved you. By the way, you're going to another dimension in 6 months. That's pretty much what happened at the end of Stormblood.
That's true.
And this one we can't talk about much yet, but I'll say that I don't think this whole Part 1, Part 2 formula, at least in its current form, is... I kind of don't want it anymore.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, would you... Either way, I feel like either way... There's always gonna be that wait after that 6 month wait. So it's like, would you rather have that sooner?
I'd rather have something different.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have something different because here's the thing: I just don't. I like that. I always like the idea of the cliffhanger waiting for part 2 until part 2 comes out, even if part 2 is good, which was the case this time. I just want to. I need it in the moment while I'm still like fresh on everything that's happening, instead of waiting and then just being like, "Hey, hey, good to see that you woke up. You rested up, and by the way, now we're gonna finish the story." It's just waiting for the ending when it's one patch that's being split in two just for like PR sake just doesn't do it for me anymore.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I'll agree with you that something new would be nice, but I don't hate it.
Well, I'm really ideally we're looking at a near holiday release for every expansion. I don't think they're going to make up the time. They might try to push it earlier, like September, October in 7.0. But now I really want them to utilize the Rising. Now that we've brought that up, like I'm really hoping that brings like a big, exciting like pre-expansion, hype generator of some kind, and not just for the sake of being the Rising,
Or even the Moonfire Fair. They could maybe make it a little more literal this time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was like, Moonfire, huh?
Yeah.
Man, we might want to find a new name for this. I want to see if I can send an email to Screen and be like, hey, can I ask you SCP one question? Okay, are we still gonna is the Moonfire Fair still gonna be called the Moonfire Fair? Because it might not be taken so well from this point on, based on the Endwalker trailer.
Lots of moons and lots of fire.
I like chat saying, well, now the Ultimate Ninja Warrior can just go all the way to the moon.
Ooh.
And if you fall off, it's
You're okay. There's no gravity in space. You just float.
That's not how that works. Before anyone who knows about how gravity works steps in and goes, excuse me. Yeah, cue It's a Long Fall. The whole way down. There you go.
Terrible.
I'll make sure I wear a shirt corresponding with my role if we're going to play that. I'll make sure that I adhere to the memes. Yeah, but either way, I thought it was a good story. I thought it had a lot of good moments. This whole splitting it in half thing, I don't think it's worth doing anymore. I'd almost rather they just not release the story at the beginning of 5.5 and release it all at the same time as part 2, or just release part 2 with part 1. Like, I just think splitting it's just not doing it for me anymore.
Yeah. Unless they're gonna go like really heavy-handed
on the like Nier
and everything.
Every week is another fucking little quest for like the whole time, and then you get the epilogue quest in 0.558 or something.
Don't give them ideas.
It's too late. I've said it.
He's manifested it.
And Sly knows that I said I actually liked how Nier was doing quests in between the major raid patches. I just didn't like that it was Nier. Like, I wanted that for Eden, and looking back, like, it could have been good for any of the old raids having, like, even-numbered raid story patches for the 24-mans. But Nier just hasn't done it for me, so.
The thing about it is I can just see that going horribly wrong with, any kind of side story or main scenario. Like not having enough substance, just is like one or two quests in between, and it's just like a really short quest, and nothing happens, like Yorha. So that's my only concern.
Yeah, but nothing happened in Yorha because it's Yorha, not because nothing happened. Because things happened in those in between quests. We didn't care. That was the problem. So if we care, then one or two quests might be sufficient. I'm just saying that would be different. Be cool. All right.
I mean, they do have a chance to do something new going into 7.0.
See you in 2 years. There you go. See you in 2 years. All right. Either way, moving on. Before I zoned into Zadnor, I got my land waffle, and then I zoned into Zadnor. I wanted to just throw that in there real quick. It's been a long journey for the land waffle, and now I have my land waffle.
Do you like waffles or pancakes more?
Waffles. They hold the syrup. They have puddles. Yeah.
Waffles.
They have syrup pool and butter pools too, because you get the melted butter on top of the syrup.
Crispy. It's a good choice.
Yeah, and not to mention, I've never done chicken and pancakes, but chicken and waffles.
Nobody has.
Exactly. It's just inferior in every way. The pancake. I don't care what anyone says. It's inferior. Now, if you put a pancake on under a waffle, I could maybe get with that.
Make a pancake.
A pan waffle.
Waffle?
A panful.
Why are we so fat?
Well, because we're talking about panfuls.
A wham cake.
Yeah, we'll go with that. A wan cake. That works. They go too far. All right, so Zadnor, the finale of the Save the Queen story, and what I would consider, I guess up to this point, the ongoing learning process of how to make exploration zones, and their most recent attempt of it. Yeah, getting better. I said that back when Pyros came out. I remember. Oh, man. So before diving too much into the specifics of Zadnor, obviously it's going to draw direct comparisons to the Bozjan Southern Front. It's the same style of content. It continues using the Lost Actions, a resistance rank system, critical engagements, skirmishes, everything. Everything it's, at its core is the same. So how does it stack up against the Bozjan Southern Front? What lessons have they learned? What how did quality of life make for an improved experience? Is that still an ongoing opinion for you, and it's too early to tell? Merri, you're the guest. Where do we stand?
I think that they have been doing a fantastic job of listening and fixing with Bozja in general. There's been, it's honestly surprised me how much they've just taken to heart the major grievances and did their best to immediately address them. Like the duel system, for example. People were kind of frustrated with it, and they're like, okay, here you go. Now it's easier.
People were frustrated. Merri, anyone in particular that you know? Because I can't think of
I don't know. Yeah, me neither. I don't know anyone.
Anyone? Maybe their name rhymes with Perry?
Maybe.
Yeah?
Maybe. I was not happy with the duel system initially. It was very frustrating. So I was incredibly excited and happy that they're like, okay, here you go. This is better.
Yeah, it's a good thing they brought you into the office to fix it for them, right?
Yeah. It flew me out.
Yeah, it's perfect. For anyone who's wondering, Merri literally tweeted the notoriety system word for word months ago, and then they did it.
Yep. And I called it notoriety, too. And then they did it, so that was fun.
Down to the name.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, everyone, for notoriety on Merri's behalf. You're welcome.
But yeah, I think they've done a really good job of listening to people this time around.
Cool. Sly, how do you stand? What have you gotten done so far in there? I haven't kept up with your adventures.
The next thing I have to work on is honor, but yeah, did Dalriada. Had fun with Dalriada. Everything feels better in Zadnor. It definitely looks better from an aesthetics point too. It's still plain, but there are some colorful areas. It's not all brown like Southern Front was.
Brown.
It's definitely a little bit on the brighter side, but yeah, traversing it felt good in the beginning. Like I kind of had ideas where stuff would be and pan out, skirmish and critical wise. Yeah, everything's just better here, and I like it. I'm a fan.
I think one thing that helps a lot with the atmosphere is actually the sky.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really mind so much the dark and gloomy World War I aesthetic of the Bozjan Front, especially given what the content itself was. And I'm actually a big fan of the way a lot of that original gear looked. Looking back, as much as I enjoy the Final Fantasy XII references between Judges and Larsa and Penelo and all that, I was a big fan of the essentially war garb for the first set. But the skybox was non-existent. You didn't really give a shit. Like, looking up was way more depressing than looking at the colors of the ground, personally. So, the sky here, I mean, the weather adjustment, I mean, it snows, it's sunny, it goes through a bunch of different looks while you're going throughout. I feel like it reflects pretty well. At least it feels better to look at. Even if some of the areas are still really kind of just like war-torn and destroyed, I suppose. So that's... Merri?
It is a little, just a little bit disappointing coming from, say, Eureka, where those zones looked absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Whereas like a little more simplistic. I think I can understand where they're coming from with it, where they have to design it in such a way where they can fit all these like larger scale fate types and the CEs and stuff like that. But even still,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's another thing. The zone is very large, at times seemingly too large. It makes me think that the Bojden front will probably be the go-to leveling zone in Endwalker, just because it's much quicker to get around, especially if you take a Breathtaker with you with the riding map. That could just be my interpretation of it, because it feels like it just takes really long time to get places in Zadnor.
It's big.
There's more area to cover. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. But how much area of that area is actually used is what I question. Because it feels bigger for the sake of being bigger, but not because it needed to be bigger.
Shrink it by like 25%, nothing would change.
Yeah, pretty much. I think even like density of the fates wouldn't really change all that much, or the skirmishes. Sorry, they're fates. Who gives a shit? No one cares.
Yeah,
That's what they fucking are. Come on, I don't have to get the name right. We know. Yeah, so you get into the zone and it starts. Now, fortunately, you actually didn't need rank 15 to get in here. I had a lot of people wondering if you needed to be rank 15. You just needed to have Delibrum done, be caught up with the story. Although you pretty much immediately get told, yeah, get to rank 16. We're not gonna. That's not gonna stay that way. But you fortunately notice right off the bat that the medal values, pretty much within one skirmish, you're like, huh. That's a lot of metal.
yeah.
Yep.
And that has sort of destroyed the Bojden front, at least from a metal participation, because Bojdas are still not good.
Very bad.
Very, very bad. He
Yeah.
looks doubly so at this point. And I wonder if they ever adjust that in the future as like a catch-up mechanic at some point. But
They should.
yeah, it's not so great. But you get out into the first zone, you have the skirmishes, you have the CEs, and immediately you're like, okay, so it's the same. Above all else, so it's the same. Was there any sort of disappointment going into that to like immediately be so well aware of it that you knew exactly how this was going to play out?
Not really. I mean, again, like you said, we knew what we were getting into. Metal scaling made it seem better, honestly. I mean, it's the case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I agree. That's a good way of putting it.
I know that for me, since I was a bit of a Eureka baby, like I was a big fan of everything except Pagos, that there to me there is some fun and excitement in things we don't know. And so when I first entered, I was like, okay, I know like the path I'm gonna chart, like how I'm gonna get through this. But outside of the new actions, I was like, okay, so this in 1v1s is really like the mystery that I guess I need to solve. And I guess the critical engagements as well, which works well enough, but I'm a big fan of when they build on top of systems and like do something on top of what they were already doing. A great example for me is the bunnies in Eureka.
Yeah.
Something that's chill, but still gets you active in the zone, gets you in there, and gets you playing. They don't need that since it just came out, but I do like those tangential activities being available. And that includes mutated lockbox farming in Eureka as well. Just having options, having playstyle options. They really tried to keep you focused here, and I immediately saw that, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I expected that, but it'd be cool if they did something a little bit extra, I suppose.
I actually had the same thoughts. Not adding bunnies. I mean, even when the Southern Front came out, I felt the same way. Like, where's the bunnies? Those were a great addition to Eureka, and then they're suddenly just gone. I definitely think that adding layers for players to like pick apart it goes a real long way, especially if you have players who maybe don't go out of their way to look it up and instead just do it on their own.
Yeah, we definitely got a little bit more of that with Bojda initially with the Lost Actions. This They did add new lost actions here, and we'll get to talking about those new lost actions. Oh, don't you worry, we'll get to talking about those new ones. But there's still not as much, I guess, more new rising excitement versus a continued this will be okay, this will be good. You know what I mean? You get out into that first area, and maybe you pick up a few of the new fragments, and oh boy. These new actions.
Oh boy.
They're not fucking around. They're really not. Because we got 16 new ones, including some new items, and every single one I look at, I go, well, that's the greatest thing ever. And I'm speechless. It's so good.
Yeah, I killed Sartivoire, the duel in the Southern Dragon in like 16 seconds.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I gotta see if it's probably gonna break my camera to pull it up just with how finicky everything's been, but I'm gonna probably see if I can pull up Sphia's thing that he's got going on.
I still have to see Sphia's speed kill. Hold on 1 second.
No, trust me, we'll have that. I'll pull it up in a little bit because I'm not gonna get to talking about the duels just yet, personally. But oh boy, yeah, there's some more. Oh my god, yeah, that's oh boy, that's I need to definitely take a look at that real quick because that sure is a time.
What? I'm dodging.
Oh no, why didn't it mute the thing? I pulled one up and so someone just heard Sphia very very quickly. Oh man, but I mean even just the actions, foregoing some of the crazy stuff we'll talk about later with the duels. The actions here are we're gonna break you in every way possible, in the best way possible actions. Like more so than I feel like Eureka ever even. I mean, it was already better than Eureka ever broke us, and Eureka had some broken stuff. But
it's so good. I love it.
Comparable.
It makes me excited to play jobs I don't normally play because I'm like, how can I break the game with this job? Like what stupid combination of skills can I set that'll just be really fucking fun to play around with? So it's been a blast.
So there's a couple that are pretty basic right off the bat. There is a lost re-raise action now in the case that you don't have re-raisers, you don't farm re-raisers, or you want a castable version. Probably one of the ones I see used the least of the new ones, but an opening up an option. And then on the flip side, you have my personal favorite, lodestones.
Yeah, those are great.
They are
Those
hearthstones.
awesome.
They're hearthstones without a cooldown. It's just they return you, and I return a lot when I'm trying to bounce around skirmishes and CEs. So those are a literal godsend. Instant, no cooldown, amazing. And now I need them in the rest of the game. So that's because let me tell you, the triple triad card hunt, I burned a lot of Aetherite tickets. And returning to the gold saucer would have been ideal if I had those. So they have light curtains for reflect and a usable item version of reflect instead of needing to take the action, which is welcome because I hated taking the action as opposed to having an item for it. Elixirs, which you probably won't use those. I think those do interact with the pot timers. I don't remember. I remember somebody asked me if it's better to use those or a stat pot. But either way, I mean, those are just a full HP restore. I don't think they actually do share the cooldown at all.
Yeah, it's shared with Dynamis Dice, I think.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, definitely don't care about using Dynamis Dice if I'm considering using a resistance elixir. I don't go into the duel and I'm like, all right, do I win or do I lose? Let's find out even quicker than we would when I choke. All right, but then you get into the actual actions and.
I like how we're calling them actual actions, like that. All that shit.
Well, those are all like items and things. They're in the holster, but they're like items. They're not actions that you put on your bar or anything.
Right.
And they start kind of tame. The first two that I think are easy to mention are kind of tame: Burst and Rampage, where it's essentially taking advantage of the whole weak to magic, weak to physical thing. But if somebody brings them and they hit them and it's the correct aversion, physical or magical, then they basically just have a permanent plus 10% damage taken as long as it's maintained. So, really basic, but super solid, especially in the first day or two when a lot of people were, there's a lot of death on various critical engagements, Dalriada, all those things. Dalriada, that's the one. There it is. I call it Dalriada just because that's what I called it first, and it's not pronounced in game, so I don't give a shit. But that's just how it is. Those are okay. I don't know if you guys brought much of those day 1, day 2 going into any of the things. I tried to keep them on me because they have 99 uses, and it's pretty handy whenever you actually do decide you actually need them. But then you get into Chain Spell and Assassinate, and things really start to kick off. So one of the first quests gives you a few fragments that have Chain Spell and Assassinate in them. And you read those abilities, and you wonder if anyone.
Why the fuck should I take anything else?
Yeah, yeah. You wonder that, and you wonder if anyone. They even they're just like, yeah, whatever. What percentage damage do you want it to? Yeah, just do that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Font of Power on a 10-second cool. Yeah, just do it. I don't care. Fuck old font. No, they don't want to farm Font of Power. It's in Castrum. Just fucking put it on that. No, they don't want to farm. Just put the fonts on these other skills. All right. Just give it to them there. They won't complain about not getting it in Castrum. They'll love it. Okay. That's it. That's all it is. Because these things are just ridiculous. Lost Assassinate on Monk it sucks on Dragoon, just so you know, Sly. Lost Assassinate on Dragoon is griefing yourself most of the time. You know why, right?
There's a bug with it, right?
It's not a bug. It's an unfortunate interaction, but it's not a bug.
It's a feature.
It's a feature. So Dragoon has the distinct wording that your next weapon skill can be a chaos. After Chaos Sources, your next weapon skill will activate Fang and Claw or Wheeling Thrust or whatever. Your next weapon skill. Well, it's a weapon skill? Assassinate. So if you use it, it just cancels your 4th and 5th part combo. And Raiden Thrust. So you can only use it between your 2nd and 3rd GCD. Or it just cucks everything, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to use it after Disembowel or True Thrust, or it just ruins your whole combo. That's a little unfortunate. That's a little...
It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. On Monk, however, Sly, you'll be glad to know that not only does nothing bad happen, but it counts as a weapon skill for chakra stacks. So I just get more. Yeah. Not to mention it scales with haste. So...
Oh, don't worry. It's gonna be part of the those those goon buffs that we don't fucking ask for and shit. It's gonna be part of that.
They're gonna adjust it because Raiden Thrust gets canceled by Lost Assassin.
Yeah.
That's specifically, and you know what? They're gonna make that change in 6.1. Specifically to Lost Assassinate too. Not anytime soon. Just after it's well and past is when you'll get access to it. But if you thought Lost Assassinate was good, Chain Spell is stupid. If there was ever an ability I don't think they tested, it's this one. Because it's a damage buff and instant cast at base. Spirit of the Ordained, it doubles your damage output, and Spirit of the Watcher it changes its duration to 90 seconds. So, what? Merri, you know all about Chainspell.
I do.
There's a lot of people who know a lot about Chainspell now because of the duels, but we're gonna start. Chainspell has a history of being really good, as many of us may know.
Indeed.
But this is I don't know if this survives its current I'm like, yeah, they know this shit's broken as all hell. For once I'm like, I don't know if they do. I really don't know if they do. I do think it's actually bugged because Lost Assassinate gives you Font of Power, which is fucking ridiculous. Assassinate kills enemies if they're, has a chance of killing them if you hit them from behind. Off GCD weapon skill, if you have Beast Essence, gives you Font of Power. But with Assassinate, Font of Power, if you try to use a regular Font of Power on top of Assassinate, it doesn't work. With Chain Spell, because they're different potencies, it does. So you can stack both of them.
that goddamn favoritism.
Yoshi P is like, no, wait. Leave that. They can't even use Ordained. They They just use Spirit of the Watcher instead.
But then you have 90 seconds of just doing whatever the fuck you want on Black Mage.
Well, you know exactly what you're going to be doing. Yeah, it's because Chainspell doesn't even give Font of Magic. It gives Mana Burst. But yet the other one gives Font of Power. It's like, why would you do this? Why can't I have Physical Burst? It's just weird.
Because Yoshi P don't give a fuck about melees.
He's like, yeah, we made your hitboxes bigger in 5.4 Savage. Get over it.
Hooray.
We're like, thank you, Yoshi P. He's like, shut up. I'm casting Fire 4. Busy getting oranges over here. Oh, man. And, it's just these two are really the two that kind of are just so ridiculous to me. And I don't get how they made it through. And honestly, they're not even the ones that excite me the most. Because there's a new Hallowed in Ground Mana Wall, and you are not it. Because outside of it being incredibly rare, Mana Wall has just been replaced. They just said, you don't need that anymore. We've got something way cooler. It's called Excellence. Do you know what Excellence does?
Gives weakness and gives you 60% damage up, 10%.
That's not even everything.
And then after it wears off after 15 seconds, it gives you like all the buffs for another 30 seconds or 60?
It's as soon as your weakness on cast and gives you Hallowed for 10 seconds.
I didn't read about the Hallowed part.
It gives you Hallowed Ground for 10 seconds.
Yeah, impervious to most attacks. Oh wow.
Yeah, only thing is tanks can't use it.
Yeah.
And then after the Hallowed wears off, you get the damage buff and Rampart for like 40 seconds or something. Or 50 seconds.
That's what all the melee DPS are saying.
Yeah, it's DPS only, and man, as a monk, let me tell you, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 50 seconds of 60. Yeah, so they just persist after.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
It's stupid.
It's so stupid. I don't even fucking get it. It's so fucking stupid. Oh my god. They just don't care. They just really don't care. That's it. It's super rare though. Like it's really hard to get. They at least balanced it like that, but it's just, and it has 5 uses and it's only a 5-minute cooldown, and it's
honestly, I love that they're doing stuff like this because it makes the content fun. It makes you want to go back in.
Or in the case of what you've now learned, not at all is what it makes.
it does validate the duels.
Yeah.
You gotta find some way to like restrict what you can use in the duels or something.
No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Actually, I'll just tweet. I'll say, hey, SC, you should restrict duels to specific actions only.
But only after I beat it.
Yeah, only after you beat it. That's when you tweet about it. Okay.
I can see it now. You're overcome with an overwhelming sense of dread. You can't use this skill. You're afraid of
Lion, listen, one of the duels actually makes me believe they would do that, but we'll talk about that again in a little bit. Then there's a few pretty fun ones. There's a couple updates. Lost Protect 2, Lost Shell 2, Lost Stone Skin 2, in case you just want to have shields, I suppose. A personal favorite for me is Impetus.
Yeah. Oh, can I tell a story?
Yes, you can tell a story about Impetus.
Okay, so I was doing some CEs with friends, and I was in voice chat with them, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Impetus and the Swift made you sprint out of the Unicorn Cleanse on that one CE? And they're like, I'm gonna try it, and they did it, and all the party just sprinted out of it and died.
So I've got two very specific asks for the community, because I wasn't going to bring that up, and now it's been brought up, so I'm going to address it right now. Please, in Delubrum and Delubrum Savage, do not use Impetus on hot and cold. Please, please do not do that.
Holy shit.
If there is a forced march, do not use Impetus. Because someone will report you. And they've banned for lesser things.
Yep.
If it's an accident, cool. Maybe it might be a little funny.
We all know that's not an accident. Shut up.
We all know it's not an accident.
I'm really surprised they didn't think to nullify movement speed, because usually they do with stuff like that.
Well, Force March, never in the past have they. I've killed myself with Sprint on Force March a number of times.
I'm thinking of what is it on Neo Exdeath when he does the fear thing?
Oh, in the center of the room.
Yeah,
I could have swore I tried to not have sprint on for that. Yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure that if you were sprinted during that, it was still bad news.
I know for something they nullified the sprint. Kefka maybe?
I don't know. What did Kefka? Oh, the confusion? Yeah. No, the confusion definitely sprinted you. I've definitely sprinted up to people with the confusion, yeah, and slapped the shit out of them, and on Lakshmi as well, yeah.
I could have sworn there was something.
Nope, it's always been don't sprint here or people are gonna hate you. Sprinting and killing the entire group. Yup, let me tell you, that has certainly happened in the groups that I've been in before. So, now, what you've suggested, however, is still very smart. What it is not is reality, though.
Yo. Impetus in general, it's great when it works, but I've definitely used it for myself and like friends, and then I see party members just zoom into the mechanics, and it's like, ooh, they weren't ready for that.
Yeah, I always forget it has a dash for the person who cast it. And I was hoping your story was going to be you killed yourself by dashing into a wall.
Not yet. I use that actually to my advantage. I use it to like dash to save spots and stuff like that, so I can keep my uptime.
Yeah, I might bring Impetus to my next debog duel, because I choked on that 3 times today because I needed to remember to not use a gap closer and not use sprint, and one or the other was missing every time, let me tell you. And if I had Impetus, I wouldn't have to worry about it. So that might be making an appearance on my next duel. And yeah, so at this point, I mean, it's you find a lot of this stuff pretty quickly going into Zadnor, going into the first zone. You go to the second zone, nothing really changes, some new CEs, a couple of pretty dangerous ones, but also some that are way easier than the ones we had way back in the Boshin Front's release. I don't know if you remember too much about some of those on release. Some of them were pretty bad. Shadow at Death's Hand was actually worse than it had any right being, because nobody would tank the fucking Beastmaster. Of course, Red Comet, who even makes a reappearance here, but is way easier.
What's Red Comet 2?
Yeah, but he's worse than Red Comet 1. I guess the sequel's never better,
yeah,
except for Terminator. Yeah. I'm sure there's another sequel that's also better. That's fair. Don't think of sequels that are better.
As a skirmish, it's definitely worse than the critical. Especially first day, because not a lot of people were there.
The skirmish is really funny because Reflect actually reflects the damage back to the red Chocobo this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain why
somebody said it, and I was like, I really want to test it. Yeah.
It is
I
Sometimes-
forgot about curtain.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, if you ever notice Red Comet goes from full HP to none, that's why. Somebody reflected. Yeah. There's actually quite a bit of that. There's a decent amount of reflect cheese. It was pretty common in Bozja as well, but it felt like people didn't utilize it. Maybe it was because Fires and War, probably the most popular one to reflect cheese. Nobody did until they changed it. But like you can reflect cheese Belias, all of his mechanics except the charges can be reflected. They're not too hard to do, but you know, pugs. So Reflect and Impetus are both really good in a lot of it, especially the second set of CEs here. And then the third set shows up, and by the time you get to the third set here, you're kind of just like, all right, come on, just got to finish rank 25. There's a fucking A rank in the Liuba is here for some fucking like I understand why they explain it. It's just a fucking A rank from like an expansion ago is here. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Liuba? 2 expansions ago, actually. I think that's Korthus Western. Yeah,
Kurt's Western. Yeah.
It's like a super big Liuba. I'm like, what the I've killed you so many times. How are you here? I don't get it. But other than that, I mean, there's not too much to say about the actual areas, and unless there's specific CEs that you have fucking stories about. Because man, there's time. Man, I've tanked a few as monk, and man, that's
Which one?
Which
one we want to talk about?
Looks to Die For, I think it's called. It's alt-right.
Oh yeah, that one's always a bloodbath.
Is it strange that they made a fight that's harder than 01 Savage and put it into?
That is kind of interesting.
Like man,
mechanically more challenging. Yeah,
we can make this harder, right? We can definitely make this harder. I think we can do it. So, if anyone's ever like, I don't know if I can do Savage. I don't know if I'm up for it. Be like, have you done this critical engagement? Yeah. All right, you're good. Give it a shot. Why not? I believe in you. There's 48 people. It's fine. Suddenly I'm monk tanking the whole time. Sly.
Looks to Die For I have not done yet.
Oh, then you're gonna die. I promise
Don't look
you.
it up.
Yeah, don't look it up because I promise you, you're gonna.
Okay.
I ended up not
All
doing Worn to a Shadow before doing Dalriada, and I was like, "What the fuck is that monster? I've never seen that before." Well, that's cool. There's something new in here, and I was like, "Oh, wait, this is nothing new at all. This is nothing new in the slightest." The story plays out again. We're not going to talk about it, but it's very similar to Bozja, where it's about expanding where you reach, and then they give you a few story tidbits and plan for the final sequence. All the same. And then you get to the Dalriada, which of course is going to draw us a lot of comparisons to Castrum, but Dalriada has something that Castrum didn't on release.
hover
Scaling.
bikes.
What did you say, Sly?
Scaling.
Well, no, Castrum had scaling when it came out. What it didn't have was the echo.
I didn't feel like it. Oh yeah, that's right. It does have the echo. Yeah.
Now to be clear, Castrum has the echo now. Like Castrum's had the echo for a little while if you try to low man it. So you've been able to get pretty strong in there for a little while. Dalriada, however, man, with some of the new actions that showed up, Dalriada is just. They might as well have just not even opened up. They should have just been like, here, just take it. Here, we're leaving. Here, you can have it. You can have it. It's fine. Day 1, most of the groups I went in with were low man. I did a 19-man, I did an 8-man, and the 8-man was a billion times easier.
Yep. That
Nine.
was
Nine
so
for
my.
me.
I had
Go ahead,
like
Merri.
500,000 HP, something like that.
Well, it helps with the new spell Bubble, which gives you 30% more HP for 10 minutes, and then it scales with the echo.
Yep.
Yeah, you end up like getting like 50 to 60% damage, like more than double your H. Like literally, I think I was as a white mage with 73,000. Normally, I had with Bubble 193,000 or something before having any honors and just with Bubble, whatever. And man, they future-proofed it so much that they didn't current-proof it. They didn't present proof it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because you go in, and I'm going to also be honest, the opening sequence here is made... They realized that the opening sequence of Castrum clearly was a big problem. Because most groups that failed right out of the gate. Here, they limit the number of people that can go to the alternate side to a maximum of 8, and most of the time, even that's too much, in all honesty. Whereas the other side, the boss they have to deal with are not too major. It's really just a bunch of critical engagements that you've already done, theoretically, back to back. It's Blackburn from Zone 3, it's the On Serpent's Wing from Zone 1, and then it's On Shadow's Hand from Zone 1 of Bozja, and then Worn to a Shadow from Zone 3 in Zadnor. That's it. It's just those. The bottom team just has those 3 encounters back to back, and they're pretty simple and straightforward. But the big thing is, you don't have to kill them at the same time. Now, I say you don't have to. But there's a reason to kill them at the same time. Within 15 seconds of each other. There is a bonus chest that will spawn after the first boss if you kill them within 15 seconds of each other. It just has 60 coins in it. 60 mithril coins, which is not even not that big a deal. But it's nice. It's an incentive to try and do it, which I think no one will really give a shit about in NA.
Yeah, people have been trying, but no one listens.
When have they ever listened?
I did hear something. I don't know if there's any truth to this.
Another chest on the third boss, right?
No. People were saying that if you go solo without a party, you get more coins. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't believe that for a fucking second.
Maybe they're just trolling to get people to try and go through without a group. But I could do that anyways on Warrior because I can just heal myself, so I might try it.
How would you even... The first sequence, you need to split up. Do you just kill the first boss and then leave? Because I don't think that works.
I don't think you can leave, yeah.
In a party.
I guess, you know what? I just realized, if you just went and killed Sartavois, I guess it depends on if the gate would actually open, but Sartavois is already inside. Technically, you just click the thing. But they won't let you through the other side. I think it just kills you if they're not pulled around the same time. So, yeah, I wouldn't believe that. I have heard, however, there is a bonus chest after the third boss that I don't think anyone knows how to get. They don't know if it's tied to the hallway sequence or if it's tied to... It's definitely not kill the third boss duo around the same time, because I've done that. I've done that, literally killed them like 3 seconds apart. So, it almost certainly isn't. So it might be something else. But I mean, this first sequence really sets the tone that Dalriada is a victory lap in a lot of ways compared to Castrum, which certainly tested my patience in pugs and their ability to read shout chat and count. Which, believe it or not a strength that shout chat normally has. I was surprised too, but that's not an issue here. It's pretty much all of Dalriada goes without a hiccup, except maybe a part or two. I don't know if you guys have actually ever struggled with any part of Dalriada.
Honestly, no. I've done it, I think, like 10 times now, and pretty much every run's been really smooth. I mean, a lot of people die, but still clear, which is fine.
Yeah.
Chat says that if you pull... Chat says if you pull one of the two bosses, this time it's the same as the last one where a Colossus appears, but it's not targetable this time, so you can't death it.
Let me clarify. What I meant is, like, be with other people, just not grouped up.
Oh, you mean solo Sartavois?
No. Like, not be in a party with other players.
Oh, no, that definitely has no impact.
I mean, people were saying it, and I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense, but...
I think they're assuming that maybe the chest is split into 8, even though it's, guys, I'm going to blow your minds, it's personal spoils.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe there's some weird bug. I'm going to try it.
I wouldn't be surprised. There actually are a lot of bugs in Zadnor, so we'll get to talking about those pretty shortly. But, yeah, and then the second boss, I'm not going to lie, the second boss is like Void Arc levels of easy. It's like first boss of Void Arc or easier levels of easy.
He's pretty boring.
Yeah, it's literally just, can you do 3-1 dodges? And I guess he has misdirection, which for some reason some people just absolutely can't grasp. They're just like, where do I go? I don't know. Oh. Just start fucking going all over. And other than that, it's just turn into a slime when he yells at you to turn into a slime, pretty much. And that's it. That's all it is. Kind of disappointing, because he's one of the most threatening encounters in Final Fantasy XII. If you haven't fought him in Final Fantasy XII and you're not overpowered when you fight him, he basically slowly ruins you to death. And then quickly ruins you to death after you give him enough time. So, it was really strange. It was almost like a skirmish, not even a critical engagement by the time you actually get to him. And then they do another sequence that makes me now have to... I can just forget. I don't have to applaud Nier's hallway sequence anymore because I've got another hallway sequence right here. And so I can just stop giving Nier's hallway sequence. I can stop referencing that. And I can just reference this hallway sequence. Okay? And again, it's sequences like this that make me wish we still had trash in 8-man raids.
Same. I was tweeting about that the other day. Big same.
Yeah. Because you miss out on opportunities to have fun little environmental things like this. Basically, one team stays in the control room, and there's screens that tell where lasers are going to be firing down the hallways. Then with Shout Chat, they communicate that to the other two teams, and they just have to be on the correct side while they do it. They also have to stand on a platform to make sure the lightning floors in the hallways don't activate, while also dealing with all the mobs and dodging AoEs and stuff. And then the people in the hallways have laser grids that they have to, sneak past, and then they have to dodge a laser and then kill the mobs that are in the hallways. So
first time I ran it, our lightning never went away.
Because were you low manning it? How many people were you?
9.
Yeah. So 9-man groups, they just literally run down a hallway most of the time, kill everything, and run back to the other hallway. They don't even turn the fucking floor off. It's like, we did it with 8, and we had 4 people turn the floor off, and then we sent a healer and a tank down each hallway, and that was fine. But it was so unnecessary. We could have just done it. We could have just barreled through one and then turned back and did the other one. So, but I love little sequences like this. These are the kind of things you miss out on when you have, instance to instance to instance to instance style raid design. And 24-mans have constantly proven that it's relatively popular. Over the years, even when you don't necessarily like the 24-man, anytime they do anything environmental, it generally is well received unless it's really shitty, which it seldom is, I feel. Mm-hmm. I think the shittiest thing, honestly, is probably just the slides in Rabanastre, because you're like, wow, this is so cool, and then you're like, what the fuck, this is a huge waste of time. It's just a fucking set piece.
I think that it'd be great if they took, for example, say, normal mode, and made that the whole cohesive experience, give it more of a expansive raid type feel with all these cool set pieces and environmental encounters and stuff like that. And then Savage can be just, fight.
It used to be that even inside of the individual normals. Not entirely unfamiliar territory, but I mean, to the end of the day, they just said, well, I guess that's annoying for people who want to do it a lot. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, it is, but only if you make it deliberately annoying. As opposed to interactive, if I had to sit on a clock for 3 minutes and defend a spot, that would be fucking boring to do every time. But to, have to split teams and run down hallways and activate switch, I think that's fine. I complained about trash. But I think if you make it fun and interactive, at least for normal mode, it's fine. I always thought normal mode trash pulls were fine. Just, and Savage is... I'm 50-50, because I don't really care that much about trash.
I do agree with fun and interactive. The only issue is, more often than not, people aren't going to talk. Getting that level of communication, with certain groups, you will get it, but with, pugs, yeah. You're not gonna get that.
Remember, Sly, of course, the horseman of pestilence, Before the show. So for those who haven't watched the show in a while, Sly, myself, Merri, and Ethis were the 4 horsemen of State of the Realm. And we discussed earlier which one of each we were. We landed on Sly being Pestilence because he pugs the most, and well, that's a plague all in itself. So, yeah, definitely Pestilence for Sly. I feel like we never had artwork of 4 horsemen State of the Realm. We need 4 horsemen artwork.
Ooh.
Yeah, we need to commission someone.
We're gonna need to commission a 4 horsemen artwork. We just need to 100% nail down that Ethis is death, you're pestilence, Merri is famine, and I'm war. That's it. That's all we need to do. As long as we all agree on that, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
I like it. So, and then third boss pretty cool. Really easy, but it's a good example of an easy boss that's just teetering enough on being, I guess, just enough fun, I suppose. Not anything too crazy. At least that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Merri.
Yeah.
Good input. Good input. I'm glad to just get glad to get the protagonist nods from both of my co-hosts. All right.
There's really nothing more to say. I mean, it was just it's nice.
That's nice. But the final boss, man, we ain't talking spoilers, but man, do I want to fucking talk about that final boss.
Ooh, very cool.
That's easily one of my favorites that we've had. Not to mention the absolute bopper that came out of it with motifs from many old themes, including an old Uematsu one, which makes me worried for DMCA, but I think it'll be fine. Oh man, we just
good.
We just can't get rid of him. We just can't fucking get rid. We can't get rid of any of them. That's all it is. That's all I'll say about it. It's just everything that I've come to know about a couple of specific fights. They just keep showing up. This whole expansion has been weapons, and we had Void in the past, and it's just combine the two, and now you've got what is easily the best boss in, I'm willing to say, all of the Save the Queen. I guess all of the non-DR. DR Savage and DR Normals are pretty good bosses. So, I will do Dalriada as many times as it takes.
Yeah.
And every time I hear that music, I'm gonna... Oh, I need a Primals version.
It's also, like, not necessarily mechanically... How do I want to phrase this?
Challenging?
It's not challenging, right? But it's exciting.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that you should be very familiar with if you understand the inspirations, I suppose we'll call them, for this boss. Yeah. But at the and one of them is really funny to speak on one. One of them is a line down the middle and lines down the sides, and I'm like, haha, Nier prepared me for this. I know how this works. You can't fool me. Thank you, Tower at Paradigm's Breach. You've helped me.
Hell yeah.
Not that I couldn't do it before, but I thought it was really, really funny. But it's such a massively climactic battle. And after the Queen in Delubrum, I didn't really know what to expect in terms of a really interesting final battle here, or something that felt like a general, an actual end battle, I suppose. Something that made sense for an end battle that wasn't just beat up, bad general and it's done. So
yeah, I will say, hopefully this isn't too spoilery, but the coolest Enrage I think we've ever gotten.
You mean his last 10%?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like Yasmat's his growth, when he does when he used to start slapping all. But his is this one has something that I don't trust anyone with, in the name of acceleration bombs. When I see acceleration bombs, I'm like, okay, how many people have them? I look down my party list. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
It's a really well-designed acceleration bomb, too, because you can't handle it the same way every time.
Yeah, there's 2 different speeds. Yep. So it's it takes a couple of tries to get them all down. But I don't like seeing one acceleration bomb on a party member. Imagine how I feel when there's fucking 8 of them. And then I know that every other party also has 8 of them.
And it also hits really hard.
It sure does. Even with Beast Essence, I almost died to it. Plus, it was a Vuln stack. So it was... Well, I mean, I think Acceleration Bomb... The last time I dealt with Acceleration Bombs in a way that frightened me was Ozma. And Ozma's, I think, are percentage health based. So I don't know if this one is like 95% of your health, or if it's just... Or if it can be lethal. I have no idea. Because I try not to fuck it up. But when you see the debuff disappear... And then there's like that brief delay before it determines if the person failed it, and then they do, and then the health bar follows, and the whole buff bar just disappears at the same time. It's just this like chain of events. You're like,
yeah, they can still go off after he dies too.
Oh, I've actually never had that.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
That's troll as fuck. He's like, they're like, we did it. Oh wait, there's another mechanic that used to do that. That isn't acceleration bombs. I know I've had people kill themselves after a boss death. I don't remember to what though. It's been a while since it's from a long time ago, but I don't remember what it was. Yes, that's pretty funny. I didn't know that. It really makes me wish. I know this isn't like Delubrum, but obviously, you know, I'm a content consumer, so a savage mode wouldn't be okay with
yes.
Just for the last boss. Actually, for the third and fourth boss, realistically.
Yeah. I would gladly take that.
Surprise! Yeah, Yoshi P's like, yeah, here it is. Yeah, please, here, have it. And I'm like, yeah, please, I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. Cause man, it's one of those things. It reminds me of going all the way back to E2 with with Gaia's first encounter. It's been so long. I think it's Void Walker. I don't remember. Where everyone's like, man, this is really cool. I really like all the mechanics, but they just don't push it far enough. And then we get fucking E11 and 12, and they're like, did you wanted cycles and time mechanics? Is that what you wanted, right? You wanted more? Here you go. Here's more. So, and I get that feeling here. Like, listen, I understand that a lot of these mechanics I'm super familiar with, and they're like reused from other spots in the game because they're references lore-wise. But you know, also, you know, fuck me up, fam. You know.
Hell yeah.
I'm totally down for it. And thank goodness, because it's good that it's actually a pretty easy experience, regardless of the number of people you bring, as long as people are semi-competent. So in other words, in a week, you're fucked. But it's still... sorry, it has to. It's true. But at the same time, it's something that I still don't mind. It's very much like Delubrum. I've done Delubrum over 60 times, and I still love doing it. Normal Delubrum.
You're insane.
I just want a juice.
It is, isn't it fun?
Yes.
Exactly. All the crazy abilities are great. I love them.
I just want to. I have a 1.6 GCD on my monk. Of course, I want a fucking juice. I got those WoW numbers rolling. All right. Everyone's like, this game would never work with WoW's GCD, and I'm like, hold my haste. That's it. It's just, I fucking love it. And I'm going to love it more when I have 10 DPS stacks for my fucking honors, because that shit is going to be juicy. Just got to figure out what I'm doing for actions. I'm not going to lie. After I get 10 DPS honors and 10 health honors, I'm going to solo Delubrum normal. I'm going to queue in with 23 other people, have them all leave, and I am soloing that whole instance. I'm fucking dead.
I kind of saw that coming, honestly. Like, it's just a matter of once you actually get your honors, I want to be there to see this.
I'm doing it. Someone's going to do it before me. No doubt someone's going to do it before me, but I'm still doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to do this now, too.
Because Monk's got it all. I've got self-healing, I've got fast GCDs, I've got a 30% damage reduction on fucking demand as long as I don't do it. I've got a 10% one that I can persist if I really need it. You can refresh actions and inventory between every boss and every trash pull if you really want to, because in normal mode you can go back. It's like I'm ready to fucking juice, all right?
Hell yeah.
We're juicing here. I'm doing it. And then I'm going to get the hairstyle that you can now get way easier. It's not worth as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's still worth
I
a little
bought
bit.
one earlier.
I really
All my coins.
I need to sell some while they're still on the way of going down so I can make some money. Please.
That's what I did. I was like, these are dropping. I gotta buy this and sell it now.
Yeah.
Oh. So you get through Dalriada, you finish the story. Not going to talk about it, but all I'll say is, if you've watched the final cutscene, you're not done with the story. Go into your collections and read the final field note, because it tells you what happens after the final cutscene.
I hate that. It honestly, it got me excited for what might come, and then immediately just smashed it all. And it's like,
Yeah, there's some other things that'll no doubt happen.
you know, I mean, it opens doors and it closes others. It's like, it's a really weird choice for them to do something like this, because they've never done something like this before.
It is indeed very strange. We won't talk about it much, but I want everyone to know that if you had finished the final cutscene but you haven't read the field notes, read the very last one and read it through to completion, because it actually is the end of the story, not the cutscene itself. Which, again, not talking spoilers, but it ended fairly well, fairly climactic. A few parts that I felt were a little rushed or a little unearned from certain characters, but largely well done. It was nice to have a 24-man raid series this expansion. I'm really glad that we got one. So thank you, Save the Queen series, for making sure that we had a 24-man raid series. It took a while. You know, obviously we had to wait till 5.35 to start it. You know, that's very unusual, but you know what? It meant that it was all more condensed. You know, I got to enjoy the story like in a way more condensed. Yeah, you know, it worked out.
Yeah,
its own way.
Yeah.
It also had Biss. You know, what 24-man series is Biss? Come on, you know, it's like that's. It's so good.
24-man let you be. Let 24-man let you juice.
Yeah, and you can juice.
What flavor juice?
What flavor do you want it to be?
Red.
Juice?
Red? Red?
It's a joke. It's a black joke.
No, I know it is. I'm well aware that it is, Sly, but I'm trying to figure out which one is red.
Yes. Like it's just red. Like it's not tropical punch. It's not cherry. It's just red. And we all.
It's red. It's sugar water red. Yeah.
Red.
Yeah.
Tropical punch is good.
It's sugar. It's sugar water red.
Red.
Like I got it.
Red.
Like don't worry, I got it. But it's just red. I could go for some Just Red right now. That sounds like an actual brand. Oh man.
Just red.
So once you're done with that, now you can start the real grind. Because if you haven't been working on your relic, this relic step pretty chill. Actually less painful than the previous one. A one-time step that asks you to collect a bunch of items from either 8-man normal modes or inside of Zadnor. And doing inside of Zadnor is very reasonable compared to when Bozja first came out with the 20 memory step, where it was vastly better before people understood farming, and even after that to just go do the Heavensward fates and whatnot.
Did they adjust within Bozja the drop rates?
I think they did at some point. I think because there was a common complaint that it wasn't good enough. I do think they did make an adjustment. But even before that, I never did a Heavensward fate. And I still have plenty of extras. So I always thought that people overstated how bad it was to do in Bozja. But I know that when we were first starting out, we did understand it. You're running skirmish to skirmish, not really killing anything. It definitely seemed that way, you know, within the first day or two. But this one, in the first day or two, it felt clear that once you open the whole zone, for this very first step, you were well enough off to just do it inside of Zadnor if you really wanted. And that's good, because that was a big problem I thought that they had with Bozja.
Yeah. No, I did my whole step in Zadnor. It was really smooth.
Yeah. And then follow that up with, you can do what, Heaven on High or Delubrum or Dalriada. And it's like 5 Dalriadas or 8 Delubrums or like 15 Heaven on High runs or something like that. And it's a victory lap. It's definitely, I saw you predicted this, I think, that it would be a victory, that there's definitely going to feel more like a victory lap step, and it feels in that vein.
Good.
Just good.
Fucking good, because I'm behind, but yeah, good.
We still got to do the 15 Delubrums. That they didn't change, surprisingly. The good news is that if you have that step active on a second relic and you're on the Delubrum step of the first one, you can do 8 Delubrums for the first one and get 8 out of 15 done for the second one.
You can juice.
And you can juice the whole time. Yes, you can red.
Red.
You can red,
Yep.
green, purple, whatever you want, whatever flavor you want. I'm an orange guy personally. So that's where I stand. So yeah, it's super relaxing. You could do more than one reasonably, if not for that one step, and it wouldn't be too bad. And they're bis, like by a reasonable margin too. The amount of substats, I think there's like 800 something substats on Edenborn weapons, and there's like a lot more.
Yeah, they're big.
It was 1100 in the previous step, and it's more now. It's 20 item levels more of substats here, so it's a ridiculous increase compared to. But you know, who cares? We're at the end of the expansion. That's how it always is. These are always bis at the end of expansion.
Yep.
Fun. So that's the easy grind. The more time-consuming grind is honors. So
Is it?
yeah, listen, it's not that bad. Like, it doesn't feel bad to do.
That's why I'm saying it's not really. I mean, it is time consuming, but it's not bad. I mean, you're probably gonna do it anyway and not give a shit. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Dalriada gives like a real big chunk, 3 mil or something.
It gives you 3.375. The duels also give 2.753 and 3.375. So one of them actually matches Dalriada. The difference being that the duel buff, the metal buff, doesn't work on Dalriada, but it works on other duels. So you can double the metal gain on a duel if you have the pedal to the metal buff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and if you win, imagine winning all 3 of them back to back or being part of victories endlessly. That's it. That's metal juiced. That's going to juice your metal is what it's going to do. But basically for honors, for every 20 million metal that you get, you can exchange it for 3 proofs. And you use these proofs to buy honors. Why they didn't just let you buy honors with metal directly, I have no fucking idea. And why it has to be this way. But it is.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, why it's this way at all. But you need 30 proofs per stat to get it to 10 stacks. So that's 10 hand-ins. So it's 200 million metal to max 1 stat, and there's 3 stats. So you need 600 million metal. Fortunately, the first 20 million is free because you get it just on your way to rank 25. So that's fine, I guess. But, man. That's nuts.
Do we know the percentage on those?
I've heard HP is 5%. I've heard healing is 5% to match that. It's the damage that everyone I've heard is kind of not consistently reporting. I've heard some people report 2. I've heard some people report 2.7. I've heard some people report 3. And I've heard some people just say it's 5.
At max, right?
Well, no, per stack.
Per stack.
Yeah. No. It's 50% bonus HP and 50% bonus healing at 10 stacks. So it's just a matter of the damage one if it's like 2% or 2.5 or whatever. So
It'd be like maybe 2.5, so it's half potency or something.
yeah, something like that. Either way, it adds up. Because in case you haven't noticed, with all the other damage stacking, multiplies pretty heavily on top of all the other buffs you can give yourself. And that's going to be the run. There is a title. There's a title for getting all of the honors. The Emblazoned.
Ooh.
It's not a bad title. But, you know, I have the best
Should've
title
been
in the
juiced.
game. So I never need another title in this game, literally ever. can't make.
Wait until 6.0.
Don't
Wait
fucking
until
say
6.0.
it. Don't say it.
Mm-mm.
There's not going to be intergalactic troller. It's not going to happen. Don't fucking say it. They're not going to send me back to Ocean Fish.
Fish on the moon.
I don't need titles either. It's got those 1.0 titles. My boomer title.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Papega of the Pride.
Yeah. No, I know it's Papaga, but I really want them to get a pet frog and name it Papega.
Yeah.
Papega. I want that.
On the thing.
Yeah, Papaga has kind of taken over as a zone favorite for a lot of people amongst the skirmishes, mostly because of the emote that they do when they even Yasumi Matsuno was like was talking about Papaga. He's also talking about Makoto a little bit too. Oh man,
This sassy lost child.
It's a fucking One Punch meme. It's just One Punch meme. Papaga, you did, didn't you?
Oh, she's so cute. Holy shit, she's about to kill me.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the other thing is to work on the 3 new duels that are there. You have a duel against Dabog, who, in case you guys didn't know, was also the pilot of the Gabriel back in the Bozja zone. So he's back. You have Menenias, who is basically the big bad, but he comes out for a 1v1 just because he's bored, I suppose. And Lion makes a return, and he's a fucking asshole again.
Boy.
I'm gonna shut up. You shut up. All right, Merri. You shut your mouth. Because I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
He's a Beastmaster. He's cool.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think that's what you were gonna say. So, last time when we talked about the duels, I do have a lot to say about these duels because I've been working on them. I actually I beat Menenias on my second try. I've had 2 tries online and I got him to enrage on my second try, and I've choked on Dabog 3 fucking times today. I was really upset with myself. Choked. It was not. Oh, I haven't done this. It was just choke. That was it. It was just choke on his giant Dabog dick. That's all it was. That's all I fucking did. Okay. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker tomorrow.
It must be pretty big. He's massive now.
He's pretty big, yeah. He's got left arm limit cut, right arm limit cut, and middle arm limit cut. That's what he's got. Those are his attacks. That's his attacks. Yeah, choke on these. Yeah, choke on Dabog, choke on Daballs. Oh man, yeah, his hyper-tuned whatever. Yeah, I'm going with that. So I've been doing them on Monk. I find them moderately challenging. They're about equal to the duels from before. For the most part, if you're doing them normally. However, we mentioned earlier in the show that there's a lot of new actions and that they're really strong. And what we didn't tell you and we didn't show you was precisely how strong. Now, my camera might break when I do this. If it does, whatever. In fact, I'm going to turn my camera off preemptively, so I won't know if it breaks. Fuck it. Right? It wants to do this. It can do this. I've got it because now I feel safe enough to swap scenes for literally every other reason. So I've seen a lot of videos about some of these new actions. A lot of videos about these new actions, and as many of you know, we've had Svea on the show plenty of times before. Yeah, everyone's familiar with Svea, and he posted a video to show just how strong these actions are. You guys think we should take a look?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see like how difficult the duels can be?
I'm down to see some bullshit.
You want to see some bullshit? All right, so here, okay, everyone, remember that giant dick that I told you that I was choking on? Well, Svea was not impressed. He thought it was Tiny Man Dong, so he just ruined him entirely. So here you go. He's what he's gonna do is, you see, he's gonna have all these. Actually, he pops Banner of Noble Lands. Oh, look, Font of Magic. That's super cool. Oh, Lost Flare Star. That's really cool. Oh, look at that. Oh, well, oh man. So it seems like this boss is really easy. It's weird because it's just like, oh man, where's this fucking health? Oh, look, he's half dead already. Okay, there you go. All right, so here we go. Oh, hold on, we gotta swap some actions. Oh, good. Banner of Noble Lands is back up. We can just swap back to that. Hit him with the Jolt. Oh, he's doing a mechanic. Oh, that's so. Man, that's no problem. All right, so the tower is going to knock him back. It's going to knock him forward, actually, and he's going to get knocked back again. Oh, this might be dangerous, Oh, look at that. Oh, and then, Oh, you know what? That's fine. He's dead.
Good play-by-play commentary, Happy.
How could anyone beat a fight so difficult? I don't understand. That was insane.
Now, he goes into further explanation in another video of exactly what goes into it. You have to, like, get into combat beforehand. I should probably turn my camera back on, assuming it didn't break. In fact, let me check to see if it broke. No, it didn't break. Okay, perfect. Who knows if it will, though. So you have to get into combat with a striking dummy back at the camp.
Yep.
Get to 100 out of 100 gauge on Red Mage. You can also do this on Summoner by basically prepping a Phoenix in advance. You then pop Lost Excellence, which we mentioned earlier, remember, gives you a damage buff, Hallowed Ground, removes weakness, and then the damage buff persists for like 50 seconds. He pops... What else does he pop? He pops Lost Chain Spell. After he's done with Lost Excellence, he swaps it into Lost Chain Spell, right? He puts that on his bar. Now, he also has somebody dance... Oh, no. See, I've seen it where he has somebody dance partnering him as well, and then giving them dance partner before they go in. I've seen that as well. So he popped Chain Spell. He has Spirit of the Ordained on, so Chain Spell doubles his damage output. Then he swaps, after he uses Chain Spell, he swaps, uses Banner of Noble End. Then he uses Lost Font of Magic. Then he uses Lost Flare Star, and then he murders the boss.
Yep, I did that on Sarsavar, and he didn't even do his his first set of Phoenixes. He just died, just fell over.
Now, I like when they do things that are a little busted. Some of the actions from this are pretty busted.
This isn't a little busted.
I don't know entirely how I feel about this one.
This is mega busted.
Because this is pretty cool.
Again, we did ask for, the ability to do stupid shit.
And see, it's things like this. This is why we don't have Blue Ultimate. Because they said they didn't want people breaking content that was designed to have some, they didn't want people who beat the challenge, in normal.
But they can balance. I'm pretty sure they can balance that.
Want
to. Yeah. But it's...
I mean...
Here's the thing. No part of me wants this removed. I just don't plan on doing it, and I wonder if they'll remove it. Because...
Possibly.
I don't know that they thought anyone was going to do this. Because this
is super specific, because it's all about timing, like prepping all the abilities before you actually accept and get into the duel to maximize their duration and all this nonsense. Like, it's really, really specific, and I'm sure they weren't like, people are going to do this and like stack all these buffs and go in and use Flare Star and have it tick for like 600,000 damage.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Merri, to compound on that, I remember when they didn't think people would cast Huton before the fight started on Ninja. And they had to literally adjust the jobs potencies. They're like, you guys came up with a rotation that we had never thought of. And maybe hitting the striking dummy and using a bunch of combat exclusive buffs and then swapping them for more combat exclusive buffs and then using flare. Yeah, they might not have considered that entirely.
I don't think so. I'm really, really curious what Yoshi P has to say. Yeah. I'm sure he already probably has heard it.
And he's going to be especially pissed because Black Mage can't do this.
Oh, so it's going to change.
Because they can't use Ordained Essence. Yeah, they can't use the Ordained Essence. So they can still, they can still beat the shit. Like Flare Star is still plenty strong without everything.
Oh, no. He wants it. He wants his Black Mage juiced. What are you talking about?
I understand that feeling. I know what it's like to want to be juiced and to want that squeeze. And he wants that squeeze. I don't know that this gets changed. I really don't know.
At the most, I feel like they might make some adjustments to how actions interact with duels, maybe. or like limit certain ones from being used in duels.
Or just limit,
At this point,
going into, like, 'cause I remember it's like, well, they could get rid of buffs before going to duels. That's kind of fucked up, because at least protect, bravery, bubble, like things like that are like within reason. So it's kind of fucked up.
At this point, why change anything though? This is our endless grind for the next 6 months. Like, do you really give that much of a shit about it though?
I mean, the way I see it, like, if somebody wants to cheese it, it's not going to take away from the person's achievement for doing it the right way.
And if anything, I need 600 million metal. I want that easy metal buff if I'm watching this. If I see someone's cheesing, I'm like, great, 100% metal for an hour. Perfect. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people who do it this way are going to want to do it legit. Like, this is the way I would do it second, personally.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw something like this, I'd be like, oh, yeah, shit, let me go get some revenge for, the times that I died or whatever, So, but this is unbelievable. No other role gets even remotely close. I've seen a white mage do this and do like 20% of the boss's HP with Dia.
Yeah, white mage can do some nasty stuff too.
Yeah. So, it's not all the way there. The Dia dot tick doing 20% of the boss's HP is surely an interesting one, but it feels like they want duels to be more
easier?
Challenging, yeah. But they also don't want to restrict people from being able to do things like this. So I don't think this changes, but it's an interesting result to everything they've done up to this point.
Yeah.
So
because like you said, people want that metal buff, and I don't really think in the first weeks of Southern Front, people weren't really doing duels or winning duels.
Bro, they still aren't winning duels.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know how many times every duel you walk up to as the spectator, you click on the person, you hover over Remembrance, and you sigh. Lost Cure 2, lost Cure 1. And you turn around and walk the other way. Oh, man. That's fun. That's funny as hell. Yeah, man, when I'm on Monk and I'm just like, yeah, this permanent lost font of power I have is pretty cool. It doesn't really feel quite as adequate.
Red Mage is like, hey, check out my 600k a tick dot.
Yeah, red, dude, Summoner is fucking, oh. Oh boy. Summoner going into a Phoenix phase with Tri-Disasters on top of Lost Flare Star is, boy. Gunhilder's blade is a cheese knife. Yeah. Yeah, I like it, Svea. I like it. Yeah, so if you want to beat them real easily, there's that. I'm doing them on Monk. I do want to experience a legitimate, the same rush I had from doing them the first time. And I've been getting that. They are overall really well designed, minus the fact that Zadnor is kind of like the Midas of exploration zones in terms of bugs. It's got a lot of bugs. I've had acceleration bombs go off while I'm literally not touching the keyboard.
I've had a few go off too, where I'm like, why did that go off?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I've had forced marches send me in the wrong direction, which it says it's going left and it'll make me go right. And I've had forced marches do nothing; they just wear off, and I don't get moved. So there's do
you think abilities are getting in the way of?
I wonder that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have a shit ton of buffs, and buff culling is a big thing, and debuff culling. But that's the thing, they're debuffs, so I don't think that would really be the case. And by the way, in case you were worried about buff culling and DR Savage before we had honors, now you got 3 more buffs to worry about, in case you hadn't thought about that. That was already a big problem. We had to deliberately not pop buffs in DR Savage to make sure that we actually got raid buffs for damage. Yeah, there's Bubble. Everyone's going to have Bubble. Oh, man. Yeah, there's raid buffs are going to be... DR Savage is going to have a lot of... Oh, it's going to be a time. Where was I going before we started There's a bug with Debog where if his enrage kills you and you re-raise, he stays targetable and then just auto attacks you. And you can kill him.
Wow.
Yep. That doesn't happen on the other two, only on Debog. So, yeah, there's a handful of bugs that are present in
features.
Yeah, features in Zadnor. And I guess we've kind of been seeing that a little bit more since the pandemic got in the way of things. I feel like it's been more frequent that we've seen, I guess, more noticeable bugs like this. So it's kind of commonplace at this point, but it doesn't help but make for a good head scratch occasionally while you're doing content. Yeah, Debog, more like Debug.
Debug.
I love all our nicknames for Debog. Debog
Cool.
is a good name for nicknames. Someone's gonna name their kid Debog. No, don't do that.
No.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just I don't know about you. I'm just trucking along. I'm working on my triple triad card still. They added the mount in 5.55. Now, we joked about that mount being a giant triple triad card. We didn't know we were going to be correct about it.
Speaking of mounts, there is one last thing.
Yeah.
From Bojan.
Yeah.
Fantasy 12.
Yep. Collecting all the field notes.
Nope. I got mine earlier today, and it's
You got
awesome.
really lucky on Dalriada. I've never seen either Menenias or Lion's drop on Dalriada.
Like 5 runs to see both.
I'm going to kick you in the face. Or I'm going to get them from the duels.
Menenias.
I hate
I
both
got,
of
I
you.
got Menenias. Yeah.
Just hate both of you. That's fine. That works for me. That's fine. I'll just not have my bike yet then. That's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
It's okay.
You get it. I love Final Fantasy 12. I was like, I need this.
I'll just beat the Lion duel. That's it. I'll just beat the Lion duel and I'll get it there. It's fine.
You got my lion from Castrum.
Shut up.
Way back.
No.
in the day.
I know there's Lion 2 also.
Oh, lion too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that comes from the duel or Dalriada. As you know, Dalriada. You know, you just get that too.
Yep. On my first run.
Yeah, that's great. That sounds fantastic. You know what I got on my first run? The Diablo one, which you get every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
That's right.
Guaranteed coins. Yeah, great, fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna be busy not having my bike, but at least I have my land waffle.
Right.
What do I want? A 2-seater bike that I am not waiting for anyone to get on, or a giant mecha dragon god?
Like,
No.
Durgan.
Yeah,
Stick-
Durgan. Mhm.
stick your butt.
No, I'm good with Durgan. I'm definitely good with Durgan. That's for certain. Certain for Durgan. All right. And with that, yeah, I just got to finish my triple triad collection. I'm good. You don't even need the super hard to get cards. You don't need the platinum cards for the fucking triple triad mount. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, you need all of the normal non-stupid tournament cards.
I might do it then.
It's not bad. Sly, you'll get a kick out of this. So there's 2 cards I'm missing, Sly.
Which ones?
They come from dwarf dailies.
Do your goddamn dwarf Haleys.
I'm doing them now. One also comes from the Elto Weekly.
Huh.
So I'm doing that now too. I finally got around to a couple of these things that I may have said I would save for. Hey, good news is I got 6 months.
Hey, there you go.
I mean, I love that they're adding all these things in like this. It's good. Finally reward people with something kind of appealing for doing these things that they might not otherwise do.
Yeah, like ocean fishing.
That's right.
Don't do 3 million points.
Oh, I won't.
Don't do it.
But-
Happy's the only one fucking crazy enough to do it.
Well, I'm not the
Just
only
don't do
one
it.
crazy enough, but I'm a world-class troller. So let's just know that it's
Yeah,
great.
you are.
Title is absolutely worth it, but don't do it. 100% recommend it, but also 100% say don't do it. Please. All right, and with that, see you in 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. What are we
Well,
doing?
less than that.
What are we
We got
doing?
the data.
Nah. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll see you before then, but like, yeah. So what are we doing for 6 months, guys? We got Final Fantasy VII next month. You know, what else? What else we got? You know, there's some events in game. Yeah,
And
PSO2. Do we have a date for that?
Not confirmed, but we're like 99.99% certain it's the 9th.
Okay, all right. We got some Rise summer updates, so that's coming.
Yeah.
We got that. We got
You
E3
got
coming, and there's
Summer's Game Fest. Yeah. there you
yeah E3 with the rumored Final Fantasy Souls-like that's been going around.
go. I like how E3 technically kind of started this week.
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
WoW TV.
Yeah.
WoW TVC. Yeah, I keep getting emails. I'm like, leave me alone. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep. Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah, Guilty Gear Strive right now. Dragon Quest stuff we won't see, but DQ Dragon Quest 3 Octopath Traveler looks pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. Listen, that's what it is. I'm not even harping on it. It's great. I'm glad that it looks that way. Now everyone gets to ask me, when do we get Final Fantasy 11 offline and Final Fantasies 1 through 6 and Octopath graphics for the next 6 years? It's great. Don't ask me those questions. Please don't ask me those questions anymore. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. What else? What else are we doing before up until we got 6 months? What else are we doing? Anything else? Tales of Arise. Yeah, that's one. Nocturne. Didn't that come out?
Already came out.
Okay, yeah, that's out. Go play that, featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. That's
Final
fun.
Fantasy Battle Royale.
Shut up.
Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Get some help.
Shut up. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't ruin the mood. Don't do that to us. Okay. All right. Well, then, if that's a plan, then I guess see you in 6 months. No, we'll probably have less shows throughout the summer. We might do a few extra TBGs where we just talk about random other shit like we're doing right now. Especially after E3, I think it's pretty set in stone that we'll probably be doing one E3 week or after E3 week. We have a lore show. We have Erzivia. We'll probably have live letters on the data center travel shows. On the data center travel, we'll probably have some other stuff pop up in between interviews and whatnot. But definitely going to be less shows throughout the summer because we will be on a pretty big drought in terms of information. We're not going to force shows. So don't be surprised if you don't see it. I expect to be asked every week if there will be a show, and I can guarantee there will not always be a show to discuss. But we will try to filter in some filler shows here or there on some topics about things we're anticipating going into Endwalker. Maybe get Frosty on for what do you want out of PvP show?
Yeah,
Merri wants to come to that too because he wants PvP to be better.
I do.
He really wants PvP to be
We all kind of want PvP to be better. We want
we don't want to have to want that. It's really more. It's not that we really want. It's not like we're gonna be like, yeah, we're PvP and but we're like, we really don't want to have to keep wanting it to be more. We just want to be like, yeah, they're doing a good job. I'm glad those people are enjoying that. Not
Blitzball.
shut up. We're ending the show. Okay, goodbye, everyone. No. All right. So,
No. Let me keep going.
Nope. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks.
Got a point.
Thanks for watching. Merri, where can they find you at?
On the screen.
Yes.
I mean, you're kind of on the screen.
Well, there's a bird and an @ That's where I am. Also on Twitch and YouTube. Very Merri. If
There
you
you
Google
go.
Very Merri, I'm sure you'll find me.
You got anything fun coming up?
Yeah. So I tweeted about it, but I bought full body tracking for VR, so now I can do stupid memes. I danced around as Arbert, and everybody loved it.
Yeah, but you're gonna be doing. I'd assume not exclusively Final Fantasy 14 stuff, but there's probably a lot more Final Fantasy 14 stuff you could do. Yeah,
I'm excited.
nice. I'm looking forward to that. And if you want to check that out, you're streaming in full body after this on VR, aren't you?
Yeah.
Your first live stream with the full body setup. You'll get to find out how comfortable or uncomfortable it's going to be throughout to stream in.
Probably fine.
Okay, I have no idea because I've never worn one. So
It's just like I have like straps, and I attach these sensors to my legs, and then I wear a belt. And that's it.
oh shit, we can't have belts anymore. What are you gonna do? Oh.
Oh.
Fuck. It's okay. They won't notice. Nobody notices they're gone. It's fine. All right. Well, it's good to have you back, Merri, and we'll be sure to get you on a few shows. We definitely got to do a full-on Four Horsemen show at some point in the future. So get the whole crew back together. Sly, what are you up to? How you doing? Tell everyone where they can find you. You know the drill.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly the Fox. Yeah, like I said, Summer Games Fest, E3, whatever you want to call it, we'll be covering that as it happens, so you get to see more of Sly in a shirt and tie. Did not mean to rhyme that. Rise just came out with the new stuff, and so I'll be probably grinding on that a little bit, and possibly some more Zadnor and getting the relic done and whatnot. And yeah, things. And Happy, where can they find you? What are you doing with life?
What am I doing with life? Cooking. I made an Italian chicken and veggie sandwich with fries before the show started, and I've been posting food pictures whenever I cook on my socials. I also started using the YouTube post feature. I didn't even know that they had it until I saw Alex using it, but you can kind of just do like Twitter posts on YouTube now that go to your subscriber inbox. So that's been nice to keep people updated on where a video is and whatnot. So that's something I'm incorporating into my usual social media use right now. We have a new cat, Ivy, who doesn't have any emotes yet, but will probably once we see more of her personality, since she's still kind of timid and shy and hiding in her little hovel. So we got that going on. E3 coverage, Final Fantasy VII Remake, the PS5 version with Intergrade. PSO2 I do plan on checking out. I still have to transfer my Windows account to my Steam account because I never did that way back in the day. I'm going to finish Zadnor. I'm getting all 10 of every honor, so that's going to take up quite some time. Genshin 1.6 is coming soon, and on the live stream for Genshin 1.6 today, they had a plush of a Chibi Ayaka, so my time might be coming soon. Not 1.6, but it might be coming soon, so I can finally do that giant 100k gem plus pull, where I've saved like thousands of dollars worth of gems since November from just playing. So I'm ready to fucking gamble. I can't wait.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, I fucking just they can't tease me with that chibi and not expect me to expect it in 1.7. I need it. I don't want to see 1.8. I want 1.7. I don't care. Just give it to me now. I've waited since November for this. Oh man. And yeah, that's what I got going on right now for the most part. Other than that, nothing too fancy. Just living life and, loving everything, I think. Probably.
You mentioned cooking. Do you have an air fryer?
I do have an air fryer. I use it occasionally.
So good.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What, Sly? Do you not have an air fryer?
I have this thing called a pan, and see what I do is I put oil in it, and
Listen.
I actually fry shit.
Listen.
Messy as fuck.
Messy as fuck, but it gets the job done.
You could throw it in the air fryer and walk away and come back in
boom.
15 minutes, and it's amazing. It'll change your life, dude.
Sly, I made panko and Parmesan crusted chicken the other day in the air fryer. Yeah. It turned out pretty good.
It just don't be hitting like the oil does, though. It's like the grease.
No, I spritz it with oil. You're right. I spritz it with oil. I'm not giving up the oil.
The grease speaks for itself. That's what you do.
Bring an air fryer to the next fan fest.
Yeah, everyone brings their Switch, their new Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever the fuck they have, and then Merri just brings his air fryer. That's fucking funny.
Croquettes, I made these in the air fryer. No.
And then I know he's gonna make it in the air fryer. He's not gonna tell you. And you're like, "This is really good. How'd you make this?" Oh, in the air fryer. And you're just gonna be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, exactly.
This is why you're not the horseman of famine. That's why he is. Oh man, listen, I still cook normally. I just use it on occasion. Okay, I want to heat up frozen fries, because I just want something quick. Yeah, throw it in the air fryer. It's good. But anyway, talk about that a little bit in the post show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you again to our sponsors, Steel Series. Thank you to our sponsors over on Patreon. Even though your names are not scrolling, I will do my best to get that fixed before the next show. As soon as I have time amongst all the other things that I am working on, I will get that list up and ready to go. But thank you to all the same. Thank you to our patrons of Darkness, Kucha Cross on Jenova, and Kurenai Oni as well. So, with that, let's go into a short post-show, and we'll see you next week, most likely. I'm going to work out the details. May or may not be next week. If we do, it will be a lore show, but it might be a little different depending on how things pan out. So we'll see. It's maybe for next week. It's maybe. We might have 2 lore shows, actually, just to be a little clear. All right? Okay, with that, everyone, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.